Welcome back. Today we are beginning chapter 23 of Luke. Yesterday we focused on how Jesus was arrested, tried before the Sanhedrin Council. They saw that he was guilty of claiming to be the Son of God. And we're going to pick it up at that point, looking at the first 17 verses of chapter 23. Then the whole company of them arose and brought him, Jesus, before Pilate. And they began to accuse him, saying, "We found this man misleading our nation and forbidding us to give tribute to Caesar, and saying that he himself is Christ, a king." Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered him, "You have said so." Pilate then said to the chief priests and the crowds, "I find no guilt in this man." But they were urgent, saying, "He stirs up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, even from Galilee, even to this place." When Pilate heard this, he asked whether the man was a Galilean. And when he learned that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him over to Herod, who was himself in Jerusalem at that very time. When Herod saw Jesus, he was very glad, for he had a long desire to see him, because he had heard about him and was hoping to see some sign done by him. So he questioned him at some length, but he, Jesus, made no answer. The chief priests and the scribes stood by, vehemently accusing him, and Herod and his soldiers treated him with contempt and mocked him. Then, arraying him in splendid clothing, he sent him back to Pilate. And Herod and Pilate became friends with each other that very day, for before this they had been at enmity with each other. Pilate then called together the chief priests and the rulers and the people and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who was misleading the people. And after examining him before you, behold, I do not find this man guilty of any of your charges against him. Neither did Herod, for he sent him back to us. Look, nothing deserving death has been done by him. I will therefore punish and release him." So they bring Jesus to Pilate. Pilate is the governor of Judea, of Jerusalem and that surrounding area. And the accusations they make are a lie. Not what they had found, not that he was saying that he was a son of God, because that wasn't punishable by death. Pilate would have dismissed it quickly. But the first part is that he was rallying the whole nation against the king, against Caesar, and forbidding us to give tribute to Caesar. Now, that is a lie. We read about that earlier in Luke, where Jesus said, whose picture on it, "Give to Caesar the things to Caesar, give to God the things that are God's." So that was a flat out lie. And then they kind of give a half truth, right? And saying that he himself is Christ, a king. The focus there is on the king. Yes, Jesus is a king, but not the kind of king that they were talking about. He is a king that is not of this world, an eternal king who will reign for all eternity with the Father in heaven. So again, a half-truth and a total lie, trying to get Pilate to focus on that king part. Pilate asked him, "Are you then a king, the king of the Jews?" And Jesus answered, "You have said so." In other words, yeah, but not what you think. Pilate declares him innocent, doesn't he? "I find no guilt in this man." But then they argued with him. And when Pilate found out he was Galilean, he sent him to Herod. Herod was the king, the ruler over Galilee. Under Rome, as Pilate was. Pilate was a governor of Judea. Herod was kind of the governor / king of Galilee. This is not Herod the Great. This is his son. Anyway, he sent him over to Herod, thinking that Jesus was now out of his hair, right? It was Herod's problem, not mine, because Herod, Jesus being from Galilee, was Herod's issue. His citizen, so to speak. Now remember, Herod was the one that put John to death, but he had always been curious about Jesus, and he wanted him to do a sign, but Jesus wouldn't even answer him or answer the accusations. So again, he sent him back to Pilate. The only good that came out of that is, I guess, good is Pilate and Herod kind of became friends. Before that, they weren't. But Pilate then comes back and he says, I have found nothing wrong. Herod found nothing wrong. So I am going to punish him and release him. By the way, that really wasn't justice either. If he had done nothing wrong, why would he be punished? But to make them happy, he was going to simply punish him and release him and saying, there we go. This is justice. It's over. But it's not over. We'll read more of that tomorrow. This one really focuses on both Herod and Pilate, seeing that Jesus was innocent, but yet would still be put to death. We'll read more about that in the next couple of days. We'll see you then. God bless.